Hey everybody. I hope you're enjoying your Saturday. Um Please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. Thank you all so much for your support cuz tomorrow it will have been 1 year. And I don't take any of this for granted. The fact that I'm still in it. Cuz I was kind of like, I don't know what the point of this is anymore. I don't know if people really care. So thank you. All right, so we're back for another review of Love and Marriage Huntsville, season 6, episode 17. So like a lady, yes, and it was given so like a lady vibes. Let me tell you something. We're gonna get into this episode, but Marcel, I can't with you. And while I'm on it, for all the women out there, do y'all ever get y'all's hair braided? And them first 2 days, it's just giving you pain. Anyway, I went and got my hair twisted today, and it hurts a little bit. It does. It's a little tight. But anyway, don't worry. I got some braid spray and took some, you know, painkillers. But shit. Anyway, okay, all right. So we pick up with Mel and Kiki. All right, so Mel is bringing up to Kiki the things that Tiffany was saying, basically catching her up, just so she's aware. Um, And Mel begins to try to school her on the ways to deal with it. And Kiki basically stops her and says, look, I can't say anything now that I have lawyers. I can't. And so Mel was like, but it was you on this tape. And she was like, well, I can't confirm or deny that. And I was like, okay. I get it. The only thing Kiki did say was that she understands people think that she has relapsed, but she has not. I was like, well, Kiki, I thought you couldn't say nothing. All right, but she want that to be clear. All right, anyway. So Mel is walking a tightrope. Okay? When Kiki was like, I want to thank you because you're the first person to call me, and Tisha was the last. And I was like, okay, Mel didn't jump in and jump on Tisha for not calling her and said to Kiki, look, you can't expect Tisha to jump back in where y'all are still trying to get back on the same page. And I'm like, Mel, I try not to get in people's business when it's murky like that with family and things like that. Although I think Mel is holding back and I'm sure could go in and say lots of things because her facial expressions were everything, okay? But, and I know what Mel's doing because I've tried to do that so many times where despite how people treat me, I don't want to be a part of it. But the one thing that I have noticed is that more people than not don't grow up. I don't care. We could say this is not middle school or high school or, being young in college. No, there are people that never ever fucking grow up and will willingly throw you under the bus and anticipate people like Mel being mature enough to just kind of let it go, let it slide, and then you do fuck shit like y'all did at that table with the Fletchers. But we gonna get to that. Anyway, um, then Mel asked her if she's coming to Tiffany's party. She said because Tiffany did say she was going to invite you or whatever. I'm still wondering whether she was invited because I didn't hear Kiki go, yeah, she sent me an invitation. And Mel said, well, look, girl, have your answers ready because you already know this group. Kiki was like, yeah, girl, I will. And I was like, I guess Own invited you because you didn't really confirm that. And as far as I'm concerned, I don't care. Fuck the high road. I would never go to shit for Tiffany's messy, sorry, mean ass. And after people saw me on Crime Stoppers, everything is not worth it. Every scene ain't worth making no money. Y'all all seem to be doing at least I. Not for you to have to go and do every little thing. Then we get Tisha and Marcel and they fuck shit. Okay. I just don't feel like it's just the same shit with them. All right, so Tisha goes to visit Marcel while I guess he's working on their new house. This is the house that never becomes. Okay, anyway, it's given Sheba Sheree, but not really because Sheba Sheree finished. Anyway, so then she asked about his court appearance. He was like, well, it was a deposition. A deposition is worse, honestly, than court, okay? So he avoids the question as usual because he don't feel like he has to answer to Tisha. Then Tisha asked for the furniture budget for the house that is not fully built. Okay? That house is at like level 2. Okay, the structure is slightly in place. Marcel said, well, can we get rent-to-own furniture, or let's just get it from China? Let's get something cheap. First of all, your big ass, Marcel, can't sleep on Chinese furniture. Just be real, because it's not made for really tall people in the same way. It's just not. Okay, there's certain things you can get from China cheap, but I don't think it's gonna work for you. Anyway, so why are y'all? And I have a legitimate question. Why are y'all building a house if you can't afford to furnish it? The money it takes to build a house from the ground up, like I said last week, just go and fucking buy one. While y'all are sitting up here talking about who's a business person, who ain't, who can pull rank, who can't. Fuck, Mel has a house for all four of her kids on her own. Hell, we didn't even see Martellus episode. Maybe he's trying to pack his shit. Anyway, so then they start fighting over the budget. Like, what are they doing with their money back and forth? You spend this, you spend that. We done heard them talk about this before. Anyway, so the way Tisha was looking at Marcel while he was ranting and raving about, well, how can you say that? That's offensive to me. I do stuff for the house. How is that not offensive? Look, apology, say less. She was like, okay, well, I'm sorry. And I'm thinking to myself, you can't even get a fucking apology at a Marcel sorry ass. This Tisha just seems like somebody who has never really taken up for herself, except for when she's talking shit about Mel, of course. And even that's not taking up for yourself, it's just talking shit about Mel. She went from one strong personality to another. Wanda to Marceau. But the bottom line is Wanda can check Marceau. Anyway, so then we get Tisha and Tiffany. Was it Tisha and Tiffany? No, Stormy and Tiffany. That's what it was. A bunch of fake bitches, either way. All right, so Stormy and Tiffany. So two whack fake chicks coming together for TV in the scene. You will never get me to believe that Stormy and Tiffany are real friends. They can't be. So she's preparing a party for baby Ace, like a baby reveal, because apparently a gender reveal and everything else isn't enough. Anyway, so this is over the top. Honestly, I just felt like it was over the top and stupid. Tiffany, can you really afford this? I'm just saying, because once again, when you start talking about you traveling, nobody knows what you're doing, Tiffany. Nobody knows what you do for a living. So Stormy starts talking about her issue with Tisha. Okay, and she was like, my issue with Tisha really isn't about Tisha. It's based on my beef with Marceau. And then if Tisha's defending him, then that's really where the tension comes in. Whatever. So she says she's shocked, when she's talking to Tiffany about who's coming, that she invited Kiki. And Tiffany was like, well, why are you shocked? First of all, bitch, because y'all have fought and fought and fought for now 2 seasons. Don't play. And then she started doing that white girl shit. And she's gonna invite Kiki, and then makes these comments like this behind her back, saying, well, she can come as long as she doesn't steal any locks or anything. Bitch, slow your roll. That was so unnecessary, but it is so within your character. You are always somewhere dogging somebody else out, and here we are watching you and your fucked up life right about now. So, bitch, then you continue by talking about how you don't know whether you want her in your space or not. Well, then don't invite her around your child. And I think that's where Stormy was right. Stormy was like, this is intimate. So if that's the case, then why are you inviting her? Like, you don't invite people to be mean to them, except if you're a bitch. And Tiffany is. All right? So anyway, I don't like you. I don't like you at all. Okay? I don't like your ass. So Tiffany brings up that Mel encouraged her to see Kiki in a different way. And Stormy was like, well, I'm glad Mel could help you come around. So Tiffany, for someone who has had a second child, let's not act like this is her only child, that she's a new mother. She continued being a petty bitch after her first child. She's still behaving like that weeks after having this one. She's not kind. She's not nice. She's not trying to, cut the bullshit. I've seen enough women with children who at least really try to kind of revamp their lives. And I feel like just having a baby just makes them see things differently. And then there are people who never grow. And more often than not, there's more people, unfortunately, like Tiffany than we care to admit in society, who are not mature enough to act like adults and are perpetually petty, rude, mean, disrespectful, and hurtful to anybody who comes their way. You got some real issues you need to, reconcile with. Anyway, so Stormy basically keeps asking her questions about how things are going. Basically saying it's okay to not be okay. Like, she was trying to get at something, but it's not really hard to, see through Tiffany's bullshit. And I feel like that's why Stormy kept asking her questions. And to Stormy's credit, she was not as aggressive or as judgmental as I have seen her be before. Um, so she asked her questions to get her to really be honest about what's going on, because she was like, you kind of jumped in to like planning this, which seems kind of quick, especially for having a newborn. Especially while Tiffany's telling us all this stuff that she's doing and all the things that her kids need, and how people sending her texts asking her how her baby is doing is overwhelming. Ho, cut off your phone. Okay, anyway. So then we get to the truth of the matter. She talks about, well, I'm talking to you about this because I haven't talked to Lou. Because Stormy asked, well, basically, how is Lou dealing with it? Because it is their child. And she was like, well, Lou hasn't been home. I know he's coaching for A&M and this, that, and the other. And I'm like, Tiffany, first of all, I don't know what you were on. And I don't want to go too far with this, because anytime a new life is born, I do not want to dog out a child or even say something accidentally. But it is looking like you insisted on having this baby. And granted, you have the right to do that. And I'm not, your husband needs to rock with you regardless and help you take care of it. But I think there is more to this story than we're seeing right now. Okay, and I feel like that's why Tiffany always stays in other people's business and putting them down to keep people out of hers. Next. All right, Tisha and Marceau and the Fletchers. We was getting too much of Tisha and Marceau this episode. I just can't take it. So Nell and Chris walk in, and let me just go ahead and just be honest. I like Chris, but I do not like Nell. I don't trust her. I don't like her type. Okay? And she is part of the typical formula that has been for Love and Marriage Huntsville. And that's get on this show through Mel. Okay? As one of the executive producers, get on this show by your friendship with her, and then turn on her and discuss her on camera and put her down for attention. And trust me, that flash forward was really giving Martell more credit than he deserves. So they got straight into dinner and jumped into, well, why weren't we invited to the Black Expo? I was like, is the real question... You couldn't call them on the phone for that? You want to have dinner with these motherfuckers? All right, but anyway, it's the real question, why didn't we get camera time? Because I really think that's what it is. Okay, because Huntsville is 6 inches long. And so we already know, you already heard about the Black Expo and that whack ass shit that it was. Anyway, I think your issue is y'all didn't get camera time. Especially when we looked at that panel and nobody had answers on the shit people were asking. It was bullshit. Grow up. You dodged a bullet. Moving on. Marcel was like, y'all didn't feel invited. She was like, you didn't call us directly. And this can go two ways. When you know people and you feel like, yeah, I told them to come, you know, but with business and a formalized event, I can understand why somebody would be hesitant to feel invited, because you don't want to show up somewhere and be embarrassed because you're not on the list. Like, you don't. You just don't. Especially like a formalized event. We're not talking about like a barbecue or a cookout or a party. So anyway, so then the Fletcher said, we've been in business all of these years. What did you think we did? And they've been in business in Huntsville. And Marceau said, well, something to the effect, like, I thought, yeah, Chris, you made a lot of money or whatever in your real estate or whatever, and you were just his pretty wife. That misogynistic shit that Marceau pulls on camera is old. It's disrespectful, and Marceau, you need to cut it the fuck out. Now, I wish Chris Fletcher would have gone the fuck off on him and checked him for disrespecting his wife like that. But I could tell Chris Fletcher's face instinctively. Not 5 or 7 or 8 seconds later. He was looking at him like, what the fuck are you talking about? And then we get in the confessional, and Nell is like, no, I'm more than his pretty wife. This, that, and the other. And I was like, well, bitch, you made it clear that you were still his pretty wife. I caught that. Anyway, so Tisha talks about Nell telling Marceau basically, she's on a daycare for like 20 plus years. And he said, oh, did you tell me that? And Chris goes, yes, I did. He was like, well, I don't remember that. He was like, we were talking about business. That's how it came up. And Nell said, I don't believe that you didn't hear about this, but okay. So Marceau and Tisha are telling them about the Black Expo event that they were not invited to. This episode was real lackluster. So Nell was like, well, I heard nobody wanted to speak because y'all didn't want to pay nobody. They didn't. They didn't. Okay? So Marcel goes on a rant about people who have not been in a business and they don't deserve to be paid. Okay? And then he started that double speaking. He said that Maurice has been in business for years. He's been in business for years. Stormy has been in business, and therefore Stormy, who you was asking to pay $100, now all of a sudden you want to throw that in? Don't pull it. Don't fucking pull it. Maurice, what the hell? He ain't really good at nothing either. So anyway, then he said somebody who sells t-shirts can't tell me anything. There's a whole lot of information missing from this. Number one, let's not pretend like y'all didn't beg Mel to come and participate. Because y'all was expecting Mel to field all those fucking questions that y'all couldn't fucking answer. Okay? Y'all wanted Mel. Y'all didn't want this to be a thing without Mel. Okay? Because Mel brings everybody to the yard. Okay? Everybody. So y'all begged Mel to come and participate. And then y'all tried to act like she didn't have a business. I tell you what. Mel ain't sweeping up no dust on the concrete in a house that has yet to be finished. She has a whole skincare line. She has started a whole fashion line. Not just those t-shirts. I'm talking about the new fashions or whatever. And she does the real estate stuff. Anybody who needs to rent to own furniture to like furnish a brand new house can't tell me shit about finances, and damn sure not about running no business, because clearly y'all are failing. Anyway, Marcel, you went low. And you went low and you were wrong as fuck. And then you said we paid, but nobody else did because we were doing this for the community. But you cornered Stormy over $100. Don't pull it. Don't fucking pull it. You a fucking liar. And y'all are showing y'all's entire ass on TV. Like this shit can't be played back. Anyway, take your broke ass on. You and Martell still haven't learned that dogging out the obviously growing mogul that is Melody Cherie ain't putting no serious money in y'all pocket. So y'all need to get y'all's ass to work, okay? And sweeping up that concrete in that house that ain't been built is not where the money's at. Anyway, Tiffany and her baby reveal, sort of. So Tiffany shows up to her baby reveal without her baby. That was kind of interesting. Okay. So, and she said she's excited to see what the party planner has ready. She likes the sign in front. When she get in there, it was like, boom, boom, you know, when they start playing that slow music. They're still working. Apparently, stuff is behind. And she asked them, why are they so behind? And the party planner was like, well, because it started raining. And they had to be strategic about how they brought the stuff in. Let me tell you something. Now, if there's one thing I do know, when it rains, period, but also when it rains in the South, like in those small towns, people don't do no whole lot. They don't do no whole lot. They don't like to do no whole lot, okay? Anyway, but I felt like I was getting the impression that Tiffany is getting what she paid for. Yeah. And well, you're getting what you paid for. So Stormy was like, I hate the fact that she hasn't, that she has to do things. Like I see her putting on gloves for her own baby reveal, this, that, and the other. And Stormy, I understand. I actually do understand you in this regard because I do think you're showing her a level of compassion that is necessary, that I try to show women after they've had a baby. To remind them that they, you know, are seen and you just don't want them to have to worry about one more thing, right? But I think this is also Tiffany like just dropping the ball, because even when she was upstairs at the place she was showing you that she was going to use for this baby reveal, she was spending that time talking about Kiki. She wasn't sitting with the event planner. Right, catch. Anyway, so Kimmy is in so Kimmy walks in, but she's in the confessional talking about how they are unprepared to have guests. She was like, there's balloons, but they're not really hanging, the tables. Kimmy, this is your second episode in a row pulling this stuff. All right. Now, Mel comes in after that. She spoke to everybody and spoke to Stormy. And she was like, and I did speak loud and clear. And I think that was a little hint back to when she said, "Hey Destiny" showed up at her event, and she just gave her a little. Now, the way I felt about that when that happened, I said, "No, Mel, that was you showed up to an event where you weren't invited and you hardly said hello. This event you were invited to and you tried to be cordial." And she was like, not Stephanie, Stormy wanted to act like she didn't hear me and just wanted to play around her purse. And she said, "But that's okay." So this is my thing. Playing in your purse in your mid to late 30s is whack as hell. You could have just said hello. Just to not make yourself look bad. And see, this to me, the fact that you can't say a fake hello tells me that you can't be a good business owner. Because business owners are supposed to even be fake when they're dealing with customers, regardless of how they feel. They're supposed to keep even keeled. The fact that you are so personal, that tells me that you can't grow. And had your husband not had money for a ranch, you wouldn't be living like that. Anyway, so then Tiffany and Stormy start talking about how bad the Black Expo is. Now see, Mel is getting this information, and that's why I was saying Mel was holding back in that first year, because Mel was sitting there like, I'm not gonna participate in it, but I am gonna listen and gather this information though about this shit that I decided I didn't want to be a part of. So they start talking about how bad the Black Expo was and how Stormy felt like it was a shit show. And it was for her. So can we take a pause and just acknowledge that jacket Kimmy had on? Because it was everything. It was everything. I want to know where she got that from, because I want one. We don't live in the same city, so it doesn't matter. You know, it ain't like I'm going to run into you and we're going to have the same outfit on. Anyway, so then Nell comes in. Mind you, we have not seen the baby yet, okay? This is not girls getting together for drinks. So Nell comes in, pulls Mel to the side. She don't give it a good 10 minutes. Pulls her to the side, saying that she met with Tisha, and she said Tisha doesn't know how she feels about working with her because of her friendship with Mel. She's talking to Mel and saying basically your friendship with her. Now, first of all, I don't think Mel is a good friend to Mel. And I didn't think that when she was asking her questions at the beginning of this season 5 about what she had been doing or hadn't been doing for her kids, for her husband. And you were supposed to be her mentor and everything else. You've watched all that she's gone through. And Mel broke down and cried that day at that park when they were having that conversation, because I think she just felt like, God, how much can he do to make me look bad, that even these people who have known us for years and mentored us for years are questioning my character. And I don't think Nell was really questioning her character. I think Nell is jealous. And that's why I do think people need mentors in terms of people helping them along the way and like professionally and that kind of thing. But if there's anything I've also learned, is that you outgrow your mentors. You do. And I think this is an example of it. Mel's outgrown now. And I think Nell is jealous. She's not gonna say that, but I think she is, by the kind of shady shit she does on TV. So, and I don't think she's a good friend to Mel. So that was whack to me. And I'm gonna tell you why it was whack to me, because a real friend would not be begging your friends, would not be begging your former friends to be invited to their event, and then 5 to 10 minutes into her arrival to this baby reveal, pull Mel aside to tell her something that no matter how strong of a person Mel is, and that's fine. Mel's a strong person. It does hurt a little bit to hear that shit. And you didn't even ease that in. You made that about you and then like, well, this is what they saying. Fuck them. Fuck them. And that's where Mel was by the end of the episode. So I am a firm believer that everything you know is not meant to be told. It's not. And there are times that people can say, well, this is just between me and them, and then I have a different relationship with them. I'm going to tell you what I have learned over and over again, and I know logically that sounds like the way to do it, but I'm going to tell you right now, I don't trust nobody that says I am not taking sides in a particular situation on a regular basis. There are times where you can just go, fuck it, I don't have a dog in this fight. But when it comes to being friends, yes, I do think you need to take a side. Okay, the Bible says be hot or be cold. Okay, don't be lukewarm. I don't trust lukewarm people. I don't trust people to say I get along with everybody. Because people who get along with everybody means they don't take a stand on shit. and they ain't trustworthy. They're information gatherers who go back and plant seeds and let them grow and watch the chaos. I don't trust people like that. Anyway, so I'm sure it kind of hurt to hear that, especially after she tried to take the high road with Tisha toward her cousin. So I'm a firm believer that, like I said, everything you know is not meant to be told. So Mel called bullshit because it is. And Mel asked if she got the air cleared about the Black Expo though with Tisha, right? Trying to bring the conversation to something worthy. Then Mel brings up that that's interesting that she doesn't want to do business. Did she kick you all, meaning Nell and Chris, the Fletchers, out of Black? Did they say they don't want your business because you were friends with me? Exactly. And that was a good ass point, Mel, because I didn't even think about that. And she was like, t-shirts. Last time I checked, Black sold t-shirts. Hell, Chris Fletcher had told us that 10 minutes ago on the episode. And she was like, his wife sells mugs. What are you doing? She was like, and that's not all that I do. Mel, we know that ain't all that you do. And the thing is, all these people go up against Mel, and it's not working as a strategy. Mel ends up coming out the victor. All y'all ganging up. See, it takes a whole lot of people to try to get at one person who has favor. Just saying. I got these chills because my brain's so tight. Anyway, so Mel was like, I could say I have a problem with people calling themselves business people when they have a $5 million plus lawsuit against them for fraud. I say, yes, go off, Mel. Okay? And when I tell you, Mel read the fuck out of Marceau, and then black men, which seems to be a lot of them, it's getting to the overwhelming majority of them, it seems like nowadays, that are ready to put black women down for their success every chance they get, and they do it publicly, they do it actively. I don't know what the fuck that is, but I hate it, I resent it, and I'm not going to allow you in my space or be in a relationship with you just to prove I can have a man while you treat me like shit, okay? And we see this all the time. Berating black women for their success, whether it be a scene on a reality show like with Marceau, a YouTube channel, a billionaire who made his money dressing in drag, Tyler Perry, now telling black women that a black man who contributes to the light bill should be enough for us. You know what? Go off, Mel, because black women got to fight back. But I got your back while you fighting. Holla. Y'all be sure to like and subscribe. Let me know what y'all think down in the comments. Just, remember to be respectful to everybody, and I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye.